Yes, Leonel Carmona.
Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to you now because I can't see any of that. So introduce yourself and anybody else that may be with you, please. Okay, you got it.
Okay, okay, my name is Leonel Carmona, and to the left of me is my sister, Azucena Carmona, and to the right is my dad, Leonel Carmona, and we're going to be presenting our site plan.
Good. So
It's been turned over to you. So go ahead.
as you guys can see right now, we're just showing you the overhead, the street, because we are located on Old Hickory. For our plans that we do have for a family friendly kind of like plaza, we do only have around 3 acres, so it won't be too big. Well, for any of those concerns. Keep going, Leo. No, go back to the other one. For anybody who needs kind of like a mental idea where we're at, we are located by the Star Pizza, right across the street from that new construction and apartments on Hobson. That's kind of our overview of where we're at. Located to us is just really empty lots. To the right is what are they? Just construction. I think they're still doing. They don't really have anything established. Well, oh, you're not talking?
Okay. So we would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity. Like I said, what we got in mind to do, it's gonna be like an entertainment place, which is gonna be a family entertainment, and I mean that's where we're requesting a song change.
Yeah, vamos a echar las palmas.
Okay, so what I will say to you is um, you don't have everything all set up right yet. So it's going to take a little while, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the reason I'm saying that to you is because we are awful close to the elections. And I don't know if the community is going to make a decision on this or not, because this will actually be in another district. Um, but it could be that they look at it and decide that yes, they want it, and then I'm open. I'm whatever they're going to do, whatever they want to do. But I will let you know that once the elections happen, this will be in another somebody else's district, District 8, I believe it will be. So, do you have community? Let me hear. I don't see anybody's face up there right now, but Billy's. I don't know where everybody else is. If you have questions and things and what they're trying to do with this. So let me get the ball started a little bit since I don't really hear any questions or anything yet. And more people may be coming on because we usually have quite a few more than this. Um, so it's going to be like an event center type thing. So describe to me, because you have that picture and that it's going to be small. So talk to me or talk to the community about what type of things you would like to see there. Talk to me about if it's going to look the same in like 5 years or further, if you're planning on doing some expanding, and if you are, what that will look like, and what is the intent there, and how will it help the community besides just giving a place for people to rent out. So kind of paint a whole picture so that the community that's on there will kind of understand what's going on. And I'm sorry we only have about 6 people on here now.
No, you guys are fine. So this is a project that's going to take a few years. As of right now, had you had mentioned, go ahead and show the final project. So that's something that's the end result. That building that you guys are seeing, that's the end result. We have been talking to a lot of architectures and engineers and just stuff like that. And I guess I don't know what's going on with the economy, but it's been kind of hard to like get set on a price point. And as of right now, everything's just a little bit further than what we are. So we do want, like I mentioned, it is going to be like a family kind of oriented thing because as a lot of people know in the community, like they're just building up houses, apartments, gas stations, just everything. And there's nothing really close by for us that's like, hey, we can just go down the street, like we could eat something, we could just take a walk. I know right now they're building that park in front of Cane Ridge, and originally to kind of get us started because we don't want to wait 3-4 years to finally do something with the land and the area. We probably will have like an open space, like sports event, kind of like to do like the little flea market, on weekends once we get permits and everything going. We do want to do kind of like an outdoor, maybe sometimes music events, but we do know with us not having a building up, because when the building is up, we do want to secure it and make sure that there is soundproofing so it doesn't bother, the neighbors down the street, school nights, everything like that. But obviously, any outdoor events will have a regulated time that they have to end, kind of like quiet hours. And that's just kind of what we have for right now going forward to get us just started and, kind of let people know about the area. Like, hey, we're here. We might have an event going on. You know, you come down by yourself, meet new people, or bring your friend, bring your family, whoever. Um, and what we're doing also, we're Hispanic, so it's not just going to be like, oh yeah, like just them. We want everyone to feel welcome. Everyone, if you have something that you want to do, an idea, something you want to sell, whatever it is, you can bring it to us. And depending on, what's going on that day, that weekend, if it's with theme, do it. We want everyone to feel welcome. Like I mentioned, we just kind of want something that's not a like business, like just something that you can come out and do. Everything's always so focused on deeper into Nashville, but not really here with us.
Dile que va a haber venta de comida, sí.
Have you
And
thought?
like you,
I'm
I'm
sorry, go
sorry.
ahead. Yeah, I
Yeah, and
heard
like you
him say
mentioned,
something.
I did, my bad. I did forget to say later on down the road when the building is up, obviously we are wanting, restaurants, probably weekend, maybe events every once in a while, get to bring in artists, whether it's locally or, somebody more a little bit up. And like you mentioned, we will be renting out spaces, so not all of it will just be
And
restaurants.
like we mentioned it to you before, we just want to copy what Plaza Mariachi is doing. I mean, but in a small building. I mean, a really small building. We won't have the same structure that they got. They got like a big building. Ours is gonna be a small building, but we just want to copy what they are doing in there.
I was going to bring that up because I had remembered that you talked to me about that. I think that's a good thing to share with the community as well, because some of them know where that is and what that looks like. So even though it's going to be on a much smaller scale, that was the type of thing that you were talking about. So I want you to kind of talk to them about that and reference that, because I think a lot of the community has been there and they know what that is. But I am going to put another piece on it. Um, with that establishment, they also have alcoholic beverages. Are you looking at that at all, or what? And I guess the reason I'm asking is because you may want to put some type of restrictions around what type of things you want, to make sure it includes all the stuff that you want, but not something else in case something happens and you no longer have it, and then the next person comes up and puts in like strip joints or stuff. So yeah, does that make sense?
Could you repeat the last part, please?
So if you when you write up the bill, like when I do housing, I usually have them do it as a SP, which means specific what's to that. So when you write yours, you may want to put some things the type of things that can be on there and in there instead of just leaving it open for anything. Because say something happens and you all have to leave and you sell it to somebody else, once it has a certain zoning, anybody can put anything as long as it fits in that zoning. So now you've got this little place where out somebody buys it, it's already commercial, and they're going to want to put a strip joint or some stuff like that, some crazy stuff there. So talk about the type of things you talked about it a little bit, but when you kind of describe it a little more about what you want there and what you don't want there, so that that may be in the restrictions of the bill, so crazy stuff won't go there if you no longer have it. Does that make sense?
Yes, we would have restrictions because, like I mentioned, for us, this is more family oriented. If you wouldn't, for us, like if you wouldn't take, anybody like 10 below, then,
Amor, ya nomás explícale.
you can't do anything like that. And on the beer, well, alcohol restrictions, we do want to get a license, but we will have restrictions, like you said. Ones that we've thought in place is obviously probably like about an hour or two before any event ends. We'll stop alcohol sales, let bartenders know and servers. If they look too intoxicated, then please stop selling to them. We won't allow that. And obviously, we will not allow other people to just, go down the street, get their own alcohol and bring it in. We won't allow that just so we can have a control, of what's going out to who. But like I mentioned, no, obviously, we do want restrictions. If we were to sell the property, which as of right now, that's not in plan, this is something that we want to keep going in the family. As you guys heard, Leonel Carmona, my dad, Leonel Jr., it's just something that we just want to keep going and have in the family, even if it takes some years to get to the final plan or keep expanding. We're fine with that, but as long as it's with us. But like you mentioned, obviously, even if we were to sell, we wouldn't sell. And hopefully, I didn't know you could put restrictions, but when we do get to it, we would put restrictions that wouldn't allow like crazy businesses here.
Yeah, I think the council office can help with that to write things up and have stuff included so that stuff that is illegal for us to put restrictions on, we won't, but where we can, we can. And so many things have happened to me in my life that I always look at what ifs. And even though you may not be looking to sell, you never know what may happen and you're not there anymore. So
Okay.
that's what I'm talking about when I talk about that. Not that you have the intention to sell or anything, but you never know what happens. And when something happens, if it's already zoned something, then they don't have to come back to us to zone again. They just put whatever will go in that zoning. So that's why I always like to be careful to make sure that if the people that are talking to us are no longer there, then there's something in place so that their wishes or what they were talking about similar would go in there and not something crazy. Billy, you're not ready for a question yet?
No, I do not have a question. As far as the alcohol goes, I think that pizza place right across the street has a beer license now, don't they? So I don't see a big
Yeah.
problem with that.
Yeah.
I like
And
the concept. I do. I like the concept very much. I never thought about it.
Starwood has not only a beer license, a liquor license, because they can sell regular drinks as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, because
And
it's
I
gonna be
guess
like a restaurant and entertainment
Right.
place, and so
And that's where I was getting when I asked that question. I guess I was
Mhm.
trying to say, especially when you said bartenders would stop serving, that you're talking about liquor if you have it in the restaurant.
yes, but we really want to be really careful because we don't like to get into problems or any neighbors disruptions. So I mean, like I said, we are a family. We would like to have a family based business, and I hope we can keep up for a long time because that's what we were looking in our neighborhood. A place where you can walk and get a food, get a coffee, or watch a show that like the Plaza Mariachi has. honestly, I don't want to mention it sometime because that's a huge business. I mean, we ain't got the budget or we ain't got the property that size, but it's gonna be something like it. I mean, really, that's what we all need, a little bit more of entertainment, family entertainment, and we obviously gonna have like from 10 to 2 a.m. any bands, but it won't be big bands because we ain't got the enough parking for. So I mean, it's definitely gonna be some music around. That's what we would like to be doing.
I
Any
went,
more
by-
comments? Go
yeah,
ahead. I'm sorry,
just one
Billy.
more. Yeah, I went by there. I noticed you've already cleared out a huge part of the back of the property, which made it look very good. When this is, I guess for the first year or two, how
This is
much of, how much of that 3 acres will be used for parking and building, or how, you're gonna get this question, how much is gonna be open space? Do you have
it's up
thought
to.
on that?
¿Qué dice? ¿Qué dice?
¿Cuánto espacio va a ser libre? Como con cuántos acres van a ser para Quevedo? ¿Y
Oh.
cuántos?
Well, we don't really have the numbers quite there yet, but we do plan on using the whole 3 acres and kind of space things out. I know Councilwoman mentioned before trying to save the trees that we can. So further down the line, we did take some down, but we haven't gotten further in. And obviously, probably like the side trees and some in the middle, we'll try to keep. We just kind of have to see how eventually when we get to it, how the building's going to be and how much parking we'll need.
Yes, honestly, we
Right.
would like to use the almost the 3 acres. It's gonna be like a 15,000 square footage building, and I mean we're trying to use as much as possible on parking because it's a small 3 acres. But I mean, if we can plant some trees on the parking lots, I mean we're gonna be open to do that.
Yeah, that's most certainly a piece of it because what the folks like out here is to see a lot of greenery, landscaping when you not just asphalt that the cars can park on. So
Yes,
I believe one thing that they were looking at is you're going to need car space, but do you have some stuff to kind of make the parking lot look nice and not just the parking places drawn on there. So that may be another piece when you have your next meeting, that your picture may need to be drawn out a little more so people can expect and kind of see what is going to be expected and exactly how it looks, because it's kind of hard to tell from this drawing. Sounds like the concept is being accepted. I know another piece that you are going to get is when you have functions. Um, of course, that's not as large as the one that we were talking about, but when you do have functions, you're going to have a lot of cars there. So you may get the question about, is there going to be a turning lane put in? Is there going to be a traffic light? How are you going to let the people get out on Old Hickory, which is already crowded, especially around rush hour? Are your events going to be all day? Because if you're having like a farmer's market or something, then that's going to be like in the daytime too. Or were you looking only at night? And is this something that the community can come and do things like a farmer's market, or is it only for events where they have to rent it out, like for parties or that kind of thing?
Yes, we would like. Yeah, we just want to copy whatever Plaza Mariachi is in a smaller area. I mean, yeah, we would like to bring like a weekend some market, farmers market around the neighborhood, and honestly, like I said, we ain't got the budget to build to make the whole building at the beginning, so we would like probably to have a asphalt parking around and build some restrooms where we can probably start doing, I mean, during regular hours, some outdoor events. And we are planning to have like a volleyball tournament or something. I mean, something small because we didn't have like I said, big lot to do something big, but have like a volleyball tournament, something, and yeah, farmers market on the weekends.
No, pero era de tráfico.
So that's good for the community. Those are good events for the community.
On the traffic wise, so majority it'll be like regular business hours, you know, probably like 10 to 10 or something like that. But we don't really, as of right now, we don't really plan on having events like straight in the middle of the day, you know, during school hours when people are getting out of work. So we don't really plan on contributing to any of that traffic. Most of our events will be like, you know, early mornings, farmers market you mentioned, or our my dad's really like a volleyball fanatic, and some other sports. So any of our sports like tournaments or stuff like that, we do plan on having those on the weekend, probably, you know, morning, midday time. And you mentioned the concerts and stuff or dances, events, those are we are looking more nighttime, you know, 6, 11, 10, 12. But those are going to be like our outside hours because, like I mentioned, the building probably will not be up for the next few years. And to respect, you know, around here, the businesses, the homes, you know, people, our outside events and stuff will not be no later than probably like 11 or 12. Once we do have the business up, we might have events that do go on to 1, 2 a.m. or stuff like that. But that's because, you know, we're going to have soundproofing in the walls. That way it won't be such a bother um, to everybody. You know, it won't be something that you'll be able to hear across the street. And since we are going to be open space concept for the probably like the first few years, I know someone had mentioned about, you know, the greenery, how much parking. For right now on that parking, we probably will have somebody to control and let everybody know, have lines, maybe on the grass. Right now, some of the property is rock, like it's just straight rocks on it, it's not grass. So probably in areas like that is where we're gonna keep the parking and the grass areas for events.
Okay, and yeah, most of the traffic, it's gonna be like probably not during the like a 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. when everybody's leaving for work, or probably 3 to 4 p.m. where people are returning from work. So I think we won't be affecting much of the traffic. I mean, like I said, it's a small building, probably 150 to 200 parking spots. So and I'm thinking it's gonna be like after hours, after the traffic hours.
And for the turning lane, we'd probably have to talk with coding and the city about that and kind of get an estimate of how much that would be, just because the street is narrow. Where we're at, the street is kind of narrow and it is a little dangerous.
Question for you. Now, I know you said something about 15,000 square feet, and it's going to be a smaller version of Plaza off of Noblesville Road. I think that's the correct street. But is there supposed to be multiple business within that? Like you got an event center, and then you're gonna have like a little coffee shop or a restaurant next to it? Or I'm a little bit confused as which direction you're heading, because at first it's an event center, and then it seems like it's you're talking about other business as well. So could you explain that just a little bit?
Yes, es para atrás.
So it is, we do plan as of right now having 2
Espérame, yo le digo.
floors.
No, the things as you can see on this picture that we got like a 4 little spaces where we're gonna be we got in mind, you know, to let people sell food or coffee or something, and then the big open area is gonna be like a for entertainment and where the people can eat. Uh, I mean that's really like a shopping plaza mariachi in a small building.
It's kind of like the mall, you know, like you have that open area in the food court and everything. And then, you know, the business is rented.
Okay, I see. So the business are in the front, and then the event center is in the back or the side entry. Is that what that's?
And the whole center.
Yeah, there'll be multiple entrances. You know, if you don't want to go shopping, if you know, if you're someone who's been here before, you know what's up, and you just want to go straight to kind of the entertainment center. If we do happen to have a day, it's live music, or, you know, you want to buy food from one of the restaurants and then just head down to the middle to chairs and just relax.
Okay, so then it will be open during normal business hours, like in the morning time during school, and right in the middle of traffic for let's say peak drive time home. So, okay, yeah. All right.
We wouldn't be open like that early in the morning, like
No,
school
but
time.
that you don't know about
But
the
the other
Yeah.
businesses
restaurant
will
area.
be though, would they not?
Mhm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there
Yes,
will be
you're
added.
right about it.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
And we hope the restaurant can sell a lot. I mean, I don't know about, how the traffic is gonna be, but right now it's hard to picture it.
Is that the old Old Hickory Boulevard at the bottom of that drawing?
No.
Mm.
At the
What
bottom.
street is that? Or is that the back of the property?
Oh, that back of the property connects with another lot.
So, yeah.
I'm talking about the top and bottom, just the top and bottom. Yeah, that right there.
Yeah, so right here, because we try to do it based on how it actually is, you know. So that front portion, the skinnier part, that's the entrance. That's where
Okay.
we're kind of like by
That's
the
the old Old Hickory Boulevard street then.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, we have good time. It seems like this is almost a stopping place because we don't have a lot of comments, although you did get some good ones. And I think it's because you're going to have to come with, because you're selling us a concept. But I think when we have more people in here, we actually have to see a little more. Look, I didn't hear anything from the comments you all got today that people are against that, especially on a smaller scale and up in that area where it is. Could be a good thing. I think you need to put more thought into what you're going to have in it, and if you have talked to any of them so that you're ready for it, because it could be that you have in mind what kind of things you want in there, but then after you build it, you don't get any to come out and do that. Then you'd have an empty building. So if you've talked to anybody kind of um, about that type of thing, it popped up on my screen and left right out. I'm going to ask you to whoever is monitoring to look in the comments because I think somebody just put something out in the comments and it disappeared before I could see what it was.
That might have been me. I was asking about a turn lane. Has there been any discussion? There's some uh, uh, industrial companies there that have a lot of trucks already, FedEx and so forth. So has there been any discussion about a turn lane in terms of safety related to those trucks, a discussion onto which these people can latch rather than them having to do a turn lane by themselves?
I think what we had talked about only was because I had just asked them about a turn lane, and that's for the traffic in the community. I don't, well, they hadn't approached me to say that they had talked to others about doing that as well for safety manners. So, Mr. Lionel, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and talk on that one, and that may be something you need to bring us back. But I will tell you first if you say something like Metro will have us do a traffic study and we will see. A lot of times what the community wants is something that will benefit the community and keep things safe. And sometimes when you do your different things with Metro, what they are looking for is the minimum to meet the rules. So you know how I am about minimums. So I just want to tell you that before you talk about the turn lane. And I totally understand about the traffic light. You probably don't need one there. So I understand your comment about that. I'll start.
¿No lo apretaste algo?
Tú le moviste.
No, yo nomás moví esto. I'm
¿Tú
sorry.
desconectaste?
Can you hear us? Mueble?
Yeah, digo que sí.
Okay, we can hear you. I mean, if you can hear us, I really would like to do wherever is possible to make the neighborhood, I mean, which is our neighborhood too. I mean, we are living in here. That's where we are at right now, and we really enjoy this area a lot. So, I mean, whatever you guys suggest, we're gonna be open to do whatever. I mean, whatever is gonna good to make it look this neighborhood, to make this neighborhood better. Or I mean, it already looks good, but we just wanna keep it nice. Because I really like the concept of the people working together, to eat something, to have a drink, just right in the neighborhood. So I mean, whatever we need to make it, just to keep it nice, we're gonna be open to do it. And I mean, we are probably not prepared on how this how the lines or all that has to be, but I mean, we are open to receive any suggestions about it, and we would like to do whatever it takes to do it nice and done it right.
Kind
Yeah,
of all in all, like this is our first time ever doing anything like this, and like you mentioned, like it's why I think we've met with Councilwoman twice before. You know, we're getting any suggestions, and obviously your questions really help and put more into perspective and kind of like make us think more and be like, okay, like we didn't think about that. We need to put it into the plans, but also like why we're, even though like I mentioned, this is like something that won't be done in the next, like the next month, like that mall. Um, we just kind of want to get started or at least get approved so we can start talking to different people. Because most engineers and everything in the world are like, well, did you get approved? Are you changed like zoning? And kind of get started and put everything together at least.
I think what would help if we had a better drawing, even with the buildings, how it's going to look in the front and in the side, and then also your parking lot with your plants, because I know there's a nice segment of this group is very keen on how the landscaping is going to look with natural plants that grows in the area. So, I mean, if we had a better picture, then it would help us to decide and ask the proper questions that we would want. I mean, this right here is coming across really small, and I can't really tell what it actually is. But if we can get some just a little bit bigger, and then add your landscaping to it,
Yeah.
which would be your trees, and then how you drive in, and then yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
you said this is a 2-story, correct?
No, just a one-story building. It's gonna be like a 23 feet high.
Okay, so the front is all glass, and then what's the building composed of? Is it brick or is it vinyl or?
Okay.
What's the building gonna be made of? Besides the glassy brick?
Brick and glass.
Okay,
This is not like a final drawings. This is like just a beginning. I mean, we were not able to find a help from architects. I don't know. It seems like everybody's busy, and same thing with the site plans engineer. So I mean, we just made it the best we were able to do it. But yes,
okay,
but it's gonna be something exactly like it.
okay.
Yeah, and I
But
don't know, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you were on there earlier, Terry. That's the same thing that I was telling them about having us coming back with something a little more so that we can see specifics. So basically, I said about the same thing that you said. So I think they know this, and they will have to have another meeting with the community so that they can show the different things that they're going to bring and more specifics. Have
okay,
you all sat down and had a conversation with planning? Just have a conversation about what needs to be in place to do what you need to do so that you'll know what specifically you'll have to do? Because I mentioned a traffic study, but for this small amount, you may not even need a traffic study. So have you had that conversation with planning, letting them know what you plan to do so that they can see the minimum things that would be required?
No,
Okay.
no, not yet.
So that might be a big piece that will help you as well. Because as you are talking here, there may be some pieces that you didn't know that you'll have to do, and then you can answer
Okay.
those questions a little more. Yeah.
Okay.
such as what also an easement too, right, Councilman Member Lee?
Yes. Yes. All of that. And then the coming in, and I don't know what they'll have to do about, because we also talked about the turn lane. It's got to have a turn lane. And so what has to be done to do those type of things? And even if with what they want to see later on, if it's like the one, where's the other one on Nolansville? If it's like that other one and you do want alcohol later on and things, I, so is there like a church near there where you have to have a special something to have alcohol? Is there, those type of things planning can kind of talk you through as you talk about what you foresee before you even have to put a whole lot of money in it and say, we want to rezone this. They can kind of help you with some conversation about what you can do or what you need to do or what you would need to do if you get what you want, that type of thing. If that makes sense.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, I think this is great, even though we don't have a lot of people on here yet. Well, they probably won't come on now. I don't know what else was going on today, but because that means you don't have to start from the very beginning. So when you come to your next meeting to present, some of these people that are on here will have already heard and have a concept of what you're trying to do. And then you are like just putting some of their board can give them guidance as well. Okay. Uh, so the beer board, I guess you saw that in the chat room. Good. Um, so you
Oh, the
by
video. Uh-huh.
the next time you'll be able to like color some of the leaves for us. Right now you have a tree with just blank leaves on it. So we need some color in some of that so we can decide if that's the kind of tree we want.
Okay.
So hopefully next time
If
you'll
if you
do that.
guys if you guys can may recommend us any architect that may wants to work with us, I mean, we definitely gonna have it something more clearly. Like I said, I mean, we've been calling, we've been emailing a lot of people, and we haven't been finding any help yet.
Oh
And
wow, yeah. So you'll have to have some of those things in place before you can
yes,
actually
and we
see
are.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're really
Yeah.
very excited to. I mean, to get started with that project.
Okay.
I think it's a very
If
nice
there's,
project. I mean,
I would say I'll see who I can see, but I don't know if that's ethically right that I'm supposed to do that. So I can't do that. So, but if anybody else, why don't you write your email in the chat room? So if anybody here knows some different ones to just kind of steer you in a direction, then they can do that. I can't do that. Sorry. Then I'll have people saying, oh, she's going to approve it because she's got somebody she knows that is helping them to design a building. So I'm keeping my hands off of it. I just thought about that. I'm keeping my hands off of it. But maybe somebody can help you.
okay, yes. I mean, we're excited. We would like to get started as soon as possible because it's
Yeah.
an entertainment. That's what we all need. I mean, it's gonna be a. I mean, ¿cómo es sano? Sano?
Safe, safe, sane.
Yes, a sane entertainment.
Just something you don't have to drive 20 minutes out.
Even if it was just a nice sit down restaurant in there where I could have a nice drink and then maybe out in the middle like they have at the other place, listen to some music and do some stuff like that. I think it sounds wonderful. I just don't think you have enough of the specifics for us to say what's going to really work and what'll be good and what we need to do to have it. So as you weed through things and work it out a little more, I think it'll be good. And a piece of that working out is going to be deciding how much parking, because I do know that there is, and planning can probably help you with this, um, a certain amount of cars for certain size and venues and what you plan on doing. So they could probably talk to you about the parking spaces you would need for this. And then you can look at how you would landscape the parking so it doesn't look like just a flat concrete thing with cars where to park, so that it'll look nice and inviting. And you may even have some benches out so people could walk and sit down or uh, whatever, but they could help you figure out some of those type of things.
Yes, and honestly, that's gonna be like our dream. I mean, we would like to see people every day is outside. I mean, not just inside the building, but seeing. I mean, we got in mind like I mean, it's gonna be our business, so I mean, we're gonna be enjoying to see people around.
And listening to your vision to look at having like volleyball competitions or different kind of matches like that, I think that would be something that the community might like as well. That sounds kind of cool. So
Yeah, like I
any
said,
other,
we want some saying entertainment
yes,
around.
any other comments?
I think we're good. I don't know if you guys may have any questions.
So I see that they did put their email in the chat. So anybody that's on there, Terry, Ed, if you want to get that, if you want to reach back out to them about anything, get that before we close it down. And you would still just work through Rosie when you have ready to have your next meeting. It may not be, looking at the folks that are trying to be, it may not be until August or September. I will tell you that. And if it is then it will be with your new council person. So I would say to you, have all of your ducks in a row so that you're ready to show them exactly what you want to have and you know what you have to do in order to do that. So it won't be starting from the beginning because I don't know what their style is going to be. Their style may be different from mine. I don't know, but just be ready.
Okay.
Okay, yes, and I mean, are you gonna give us the appointment? I mean, the date,
She
exactly
said
date?
Rosie.
Oh,
Rosie.
Rosie.
Yeah, I'll just email her.
Yeah, it may have to be. You can check with Rosie. I think she's all filled up now to like about August. I mean to like about the beginning of July. And in July is too close to the election. I'm not even having any meetings. I think I might have it like the first week or something. I'm not even trying to have them in July because then it'll be up to the next person. The next person will come on board August the 3rd, I believe it is. Then you'll have a new council person. So I'm not about to step into what they're doing. I would advise you though, because our area is so doggone busy, I would advise you to go ahead and try to get on the books or whoever it is near the end of August. You can set that up with Ms. Rosie. You can set that up with Ms. Rosie, and then if the person's going to do something else, then they'll let you know. But at least you'll be on there.
Council lady, I got a question on that scheduling
Please
timing.
go ahead.
There wouldn't be anything if they can find an architect that'll give them just a preliminary drawing. There wouldn't be anything wrong with them posting it on the Facebook page for District 33 and 32, would there?
No. And if they wanted to, well, I would not say 32. I don't have anything to do with 32. So I'm not saying anything about 32.
This is going to be in 32 after the change.
Okay, then I would leave it up to that council person to see how they wanted to do things.
But
So
there's nothing
right
inherently
now,
wrong with them doing that outside of these community meetings.
so outside of these community meetings, anything that they want to do on 33, I think they can do that. If they wanted to go on my particular one, they could send it to Rosie and she'll let me know and we'll put it on there. Or if they want to send it out to the people in my database before the new person comes on, I don't mind sending that out in an email so that you all and everybody, woo, there are a lot of bugs out here, so that people can see it. But after, but I'm not gonna mess at all, 32, 8, whatever, because I think some parts that's gonna be 8. Whatever that's gonna be, I'm not messing with theirs, and I'm gonna say, I would wait until the new person comes in because their style may not be the same. Mine is to have community meetings, put it out there, let the community make comments on it. No, they may not be like that. They may want to do most of theirs themselves. I don't know. So I'm only dealing with 33.
Okay.
But anything you want to send me that you want to send out to the database, that's everybody that's in my district now, we can do that by email and get it to Miss Rosie and she'll put it out. So on up to, as long as it goes up to August the 3rd, because that's when the new one starts. If you want to just send some stuff out to let the people know, you know, this is what we're looking at doing. This is where we are so far on it, that type of thing, that's fine. Send it in to us and we can send it out to everybody in the database and let everybody know. Is that kind of what you meant, Billy?
Yes, in other words, they don't, I'm trying to get them around just having to sit around. I mean, you
Right.
got to get this out to the community, and that might do it, get them head started
Yep.
anyway.
So I don't mind that at all. But they need to spend time doing a little work because they don't have all the specifics well enough to start doing that yet, I don't think. So they need to do that work to get things down a little better so that um, they'll know, so the people can see specifically what they're looking to do.
Okay.
Isn't it one of the first step is also try to decide which district they're going to end up in? Because I don't think it's going to be District 8. I think District 8 starts where I am, then go backwards. So I think Bill
Okay,
is
it may be
correct.
32.
I think it is 32. So more likely they're going to be working with Joyce Styles, which she likes to have everything in order as well. So make sure you got all your schematics together. Yeah, you just got to have all your ducks in a row.
Yes. And isn't that what I said, Terry?
Yes, ma'am, you did. I'm just letting them know that they're gonna be dealing with Joyce
I'm just
Styles
saying.
instead. Yeah. So it's
And,
yeah, details is what she's gonna require.
and that actually kicks in August the 3rd. So if it's before August the 3rd, you're kind of sort of still dealing with me, although we're not going anyplace with it because we're going to wait. But August the 3rd is when you need to actually reach out to her to start doing what the next one is. And anytime anybody on here has some questions about which one it was going to be, I just said 8 because that's where what they took from me, they put over there. But with the different lines, you're right. Joy has some of that too. And so
Yeah.
if anybody's ever wondering about anything, go on the Metro website and put the address in, and it'll show you what district you're going to be in.
Okay.
Well, looks like y'all still got some daylight left to go outside and do some stuff. I have to clean off my deck if anybody wants to come help.
No, you already talking about bugs, so I'm good.
Oh, come on, Terry. Don't be like that, Terry. Don't be like that.
Uh,
All right. Well, you all have a wonderful evening. Ah, so that means Terry, you leaving me. You're not gonna be in mine. Most of my folks aren't. Are you still gonna be with me, Billy? Or are you leaving me too?
I have already left you, Council Lady. I live in Murfreesboro now.
Oh,
What?
you just have land over here.
I just got a question that came up to my mind. I mean, I think we may gonna get started with a site plan engineer because we would like to start like a grading the land. And like I said, I don't know if it's gonna be allowed. I mean, even if without it's a commercial zone yet, if we can do like some volleyball tournaments in this lot.
I think it would be really good if you had some conversations with planning about what you can and cannot do.
Okay.
I am not going to change any zoning or anything this soon, but if it's your land and you're just clearing off some things and doing some stuff like that to improve your land there, I don't see why that should be a big problem. I would have just a conversation with planning because they can really help you with a lot of things, just kind of talking to them and bouncing stuff off of them as well.
Okay.
Any other comments? And if you do, I promise I won't say anything, Terry. Any other comments?
No more
I just
coming.
want to add, you talked about leafing out the tree, and when they start to do that, make sure you tell people about the materials you're going to use, the look you're going to use, the materials you're not going to use, and you may have to do an SP or something like that to placate people in terms of locking you in to materials that are stated in that specific plan. The neighborhood may not let you just say, well, we're going to do this, and then trust you to do it, because they've been burned a few times. So think in terms of the look, the materials, where the windows are, that type of thing. And I don't know if this isn't in any kind of overlay. I don't think the Murfreesboro Road overlay is north of this, but just in terms of the look and the materials, that will be very important in the upcoming meeting. So just a word of friendly advice.
Okay. And,
Thank you.
and honestly, I don't like asphalt, but I don't know if the city will let me have like a gravel or sand in the parking lots.
That's why I said
Mhm.
have a conversation with them. Just a
Okay, yes, because
conversation with them.
I don't like asphalt. It's like a too much heat
Right.
on
And I
the
think I said that because I didn't know what else to say that they put down. So with that conversation, they can talk to you about those type of things and you can bounce ideas off of them and they may give you some ideas as well.
Yeah, because I think there's some type of aggregate that's other than asphalt. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I just didn't know what to call it.
Okay,
I
yes,
had to think
no,
about it
I don't like
myself.
asphalt so much.
And also, I can tell you right now, before we get off, one of the restrictions that they do not want to see in developments are check cashing places and beer and tobacco sales places. So those would be very specific to the SP that
Okay.
Councilwoman Lee was talking about. So those will be a couple of your restrictions.
Yes, no, I definitely don't want to see that neither. I mean, we already got some at the entrance of October Goods subdivision where we live at, and I don't think it's a good.
That was a really nice touch, Terry. I like how you said that. I couldn't come back and say, didn't I say that? You like she was talking about. That is really good, Terry. That's a good technique. I like that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, they are going everywhere now. No, we would like to see something nice for our neighborhood. I mean, I like a food, coffee. I mean, just come and walk and have some coffee or some tacos around or whatever. I mean, whatever food people wants to sell. I mean, we are open for everybody. We just don't have any preference for any cultures. We're open for all.
So, so what he was talking about, the SP, because I had mentioned that a couple of times, but we really didn't explain it. It's more like when I was talking about put restrictions around what you're going to have so you won't have certain things. Same thing Ed was talking about. Once you get into the specifics, then we can kind of lay out some things so that certain things won't be able to go up there. Like if you're
Okay.
not here and somebody else has it, then those certain things will not because of the way that the language is going to be written. So yeah, as you get more specific, we can talk about all of that and you can talk about it with planning too, how you assure that bake shops or check cash and things or those type of things won't be a piece of what you have for your family oriented atmosphere.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give it one more chance. Anybody else? You got about 5 minutes. I really appreciate everybody being on here. I think it was very good conversation. And in fact, I do like how you all came, that you didn't have everything real specific. So now that you're open to hear what people were saying and you can incorporate that into what you were doing before you start to build or start to start to color in those trees because you'll know what kind of colors that we're looking for on our tree.
Okay.
But thank you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Stay in contact with Rosie because she can help set up what you need to set up next time. I didn't say so in the beginning. Rosie, thank you so very, very much for keeping me. Oh, Lord, you have a big job keeping me straight. Thank you so very much, Rosie. Um, Everybody, have a good rest of the afternoon. And Terry, I'm still open if you want to come up here and help me clean this deck off. I'm just saying. Okay.
I hear you.
Happy
Maybe
All
some
safe
right.
other
Memorial Day.
Okay.
All
And
right.
thank you
All
so
right.
much for your time. Thank you. We really
Thank you. Everybody have a
appreciate
good
it.
evening. Okay. Bye,
time.
guys.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
What
Yeah.
are you doing, Ted?